Health Policy Analysis Project, Emma Kennesaw State University. First, we're going to look at in identifying the policy. I chose Support Georgia Family Caregiver Act. The Support Georgia Family Caregiver Act is targeted towards family caregivers of all ages, from the youth to the elderly. The significance of this act changes what caregivers' expenses can be counted towards, like the caregiving expense tax credit, as well as increasing the tax credit, helping caregivers all around. And then we're going to move into the background of this policy, taking a deeper dive. This policy exists to ensure families remain financially stable and reduce the spread of illness in the community. As well, the strength in the policy is that unpaid family caregivers will receive the training they need to properly care for their loved ones after a hospital stay. It's also not just a hospital stay, we could do different medical stays as well. Stakeholders include family caregivers, care recipients, government agencies, healthcare providers, employers, etc. So these are all going to benefit from the policy. Now a little closer look into stakeholders. Family caregivers are the people providing unpaid care to their loved ones. They are directly impacted by the provisions of the Act and are the primary recipients of support. Care recipients are the individuals receiving care from the family caregivers. They are also stakeholders as their quality of life is being affected. Government agencies include state-level agencies responsible for implementing the Act. Healthcare institutions are stakeholders as they often interact with both. Now we're going to go in with methods and analysis. Financial impact. The positive impact of the Act is that it leads to financial benefits for the family caregivers, providing them with access to support services and information that can help manage on their own. The negative impact is the Act could lead to more payment for the caregiver if not properly assessed. The ethical impact is the positive way, is that it leads to more compassion and respect and support for loved ones as caregivers. The negative aspect is that there may be concerns related to the equity and access, saying not all caregivers may benefit equally from this policy, but most do benefit from it. And then we're going to move on to our second round of impact. So societal impact is, in a positive way, this act can contribute to building a more inclusive and compassionate society by seeing that a caregiver's role in society is valuable. The negative way is it can lead to family strain and caregiver burnout if the funding is not all there. Physical impact. The positive impact is that the act provides caregivers with access to support systems, and this could lead to a less stressed caregiver, which leads to better health. The negative impact is that caregivers do not get as much resources they need and can lead to stress-related illnesses such as fatigue and decreased immune function. Now we're going to move on to more methods and analysis. An alternative policy instead of the Support Georgia Family Caregiver Act, we can also look into the FCSP, which is the Family Caregiver Support Program. This offers access to information as well as resources in their own community. And with this program, caregivers can receive a wide range of information on all sorts of topics to get the help they need to avoid burnout and other negative impacts with that being a caregiver comes with, such as our stress-related illnesses that we talked about before. Now, recommendations. I feel we need to update the policy, and with expanding the funding and more caregiver training and skill building. Expanding the funding will result in more resources, and caregiver training will give an in-depth caregiver training program that teaches essential skills. Barriers. Addressing the barriers, an approach that involves strategic planning and thinking. Some of the barriers are going to include lack of funding, limited access to services, workforce shortages, etc. And then for the discussion, implementations for the policy, resource allocation, partner collaboration, education. For unsuccessful, it's going to be increased caregiver burden, decline care recipient well-being, healthcare system strain, and legal policy changes. These are all going to take into account to our policy and help in decrease the likelihood of our policy. In conclusion, the Support Georgia Family Caregiver Act is here to help our caregivers and give them the best resources we can provide. The question is how we are ensuring that our caregivers are getting the resources that they need.
Created using Powtoon.